Jai and David would fight each other tomorrow.
That's such a good fight.
It's such a good fight. And they're both good champions. They're both exactly what you want in a champion. It's such a shame all the keeps good fighters who want to fight each other. Because we opened up the show with good fighters who don't want to fight each other. Now we got good fighters who want to fight each other. These other guys are using all the to not fight people. These guys are being kept from fighting each other. You got two vicious tigers in cages that are being separated by BS.
I mean, hindsight 2020, but Opetaia, I just wish he didn't sign with Zuffa.
Because Zuffa went directly to Michelian to make this fight.
Bro, it's
and
a
that
month
fight's
away.
around the corner.
Month away.
For Michelian, because I've been in these situations with a lot of promoter mucking up things, like right before a fight. It's really hard to focus. Really hard to focus. I have famously fighting my promoter before the Spence fight, and fight week, all the reporters are asking me about my promotional situation, not the fight. It was horrible.
Two of boxing's most dangerous champions appear ready to face each other, but several problems outside the ring could still prevent this highly anticipated showdown from happening. With both fighters holding serious ambitions, the biggest challenge may be getting everyone involved to agree on the right conditions.
Dream was to become unified and undisputed, and that's been taken away from him. Not by the IBF, that's been taken away from him by signing with Zuffa. And now the Michelanian stuff's really interesting because Don King, who's Michelanian's promoter, has not agreed to that fight. And when you sign a contract without Don King approving it, you got big trouble. It's either going to cost you a load of money or it's just not.
Eddie Hearn believes Jai Opetaia's undisputed ambitions have suffered a significant setback. He feels the ongoing dispute could complicate Opetaia's immediate plans, delay important fights, and potentially affect how his legacy is viewed in the long term.
Also, the logic that he's using, well, I'm after legacy stuff. Does he think that some sanctioning body, that a belt confers some special status actually on a fight? Who are the two best cruiserweights in the world? It is obvious to everyone. Jai Opetaia, David Benavidez. So the thing to do is to find out who's better. That's simple.
Max Kellerman believes the entire Benavidez and Opetaia debate can be settled in the simplest possible way. In his view, the two fighters need to face each other, because the winner would remove most of the questions surrounding who truly deserves supremacy.
Which is another hard fight. You know, if we win that, then we go down to Ramirez, we win that, and then once we do that, he told me he wants Benavidez to come up to cruiserweight and we fight Benavidez. If that's the course, let's fucking do it. You know what I mean? I'm pumped for that. Respectfully, I'd love to fight Benavidez. He's a great fighter. He's got a great following. You know, he's been in the ring with some great fighters. And then once we tick that box, who knows? Maybe the heavyweight champion.
Jai Opetaia has made it clear that a potential fight with Benavidez is a challenge he genuinely wants. Even though several elite opponents could stand between them, Opetaia remains interested in eventually sharing the ring with Benavidez and proving himself in another major fight.
I actually agree with you on this one, Max. I think, honestly, Benavidez should just go after the ring and face Jai Opetaia. I mean, why not? I mean, overall, it should be a better fight. People want to see it already, and you'll be the #1.
Teofimo Lopez also supports the potential matchup and believes it could be extremely important for Benavidez. He feels facing Opetaia would give David a major opportunity to establish himself as one of the leading fighters in the division and strengthen his championship credentials.
The money, or it's just not going to happen. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I think it's unlikely for that fight to be for the WBC because obviously Michelanian was ordered to fight Benavidez and went the other way. So I'll be honest with you, it's a right mess. But Jai will be getting paid. And, you know, Mick did a great job for Jai, keeping him active in Australia, but keeping him active without really receiving big money because there's just not the money here for those fights. So it's kind of, he's substituted the legacy for the money, which, you know, you got to make money. So, but I think it's a shame because I think Jai is a brilliant fighter, and I know what the belt's meant to him, and I know what unifying the division meant to him and being undisputed, so I'm not sure.
Eddie Hearn takes a more cautious approach and questions whether the matchup can actually happen under the current circumstances. He points to the WBC situation as another possible roadblock that could affect negotiations, change the structure of the fight, or create further complications.
Been no discussion, no talks. Like I said, we're taking it one fight at a time. it would have been easier to make that fight happen. But like I said, he's with Zuffa. There's a lot of, it seems like they're at war, you know, the boxing politics, you know, PBC, Golden Boy, Ring Magazine. Or actually, Ring is with Zuffa, actually. So I don't know. We're just we're not to sit back and just see what happens.
David Benavidez has acknowledged Jai Opetaia as a major target and appears interested in taking on the challenge. At the same time, he understands that promotional issues could make the fight significantly harder to arrange, especially with different sides controlling important parts of the negotiations.
A landscape where if we're going to go back to this IBF and Opetaia signing with Zuffa, fighting for the IBF in his mind, then being stripped of it, and whose fault that is, and who deserves blame for him not having an opportunity to pursue his great dream of becoming undisputed. Well, all of these things are political maneuvers. I do agree that I do believe that Jai Opetaia is and should be the IBF champion. He didn't lose that belt in the ring. He was stripped of that belt due to politics on both sides of that political equation. Everybody's being...
Radio Raheem believes the situation surrounding the Cruiserweight Championships has become heavily influenced by politics. From his perspective, what should be a straightforward championship process has turned into a complicated situation involving promotions, sanctioning bodies, and competing interests.
Everybody's trying to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. When Zuffa comes into the game and flatly states a declaration of war on the sanctioning bodies and then expects the sanctioning bodies to play ball, well, that's a tall order to ask. The sanctioning bodies get defensive. They've got issues that we are all aware of, that we talked about long before Zuffa came onto the scene. And they're vulnerable.
Raheem takes that argument further by suggesting that major promotional forces have disrupted boxing's traditional power structure. He believes sanctioning bodies are now facing greater pressure as powerful companies attempt to influence how fighters, championships, and major matchups are handled.
Business-wise, like you ask, everybody don't even know who Jai is. We know because we in the boxing world, but everybody don't know who that is. Everybody know who he with Tyson today. He's with Floyd tomorrow.
Shady McCoy shifts the discussion away from politics and toward the business side of the matchup. He argues that Opetaia remains relatively unknown outside serious boxing circles, and that limited mainstream recognition could influence how attractive the fight looks financially for Benavidez.
You think that they gave him that money? Is he worth that money? I mean, do you think so? I mean, pay-per-views and this and that, you know? I would, in my mind, I would never give him that money, in my opinion, you know, because that's a guaranteed loss. Who's he gonna fight? You ask an American guy who he is, they don't know. You know, only the boxing people know who he is. You know, I know who he is.
Benavidez Sr. also questions whether the reported financial guarantees are realistic when compared with the fighter's actual ability to generate revenue. He believes ticket sales, pay-per-view interest, and overall market demand must justify the money being discussed before negotiations can move forward.
In order for there to really be a true champion of Cruiserweight, they have to fight each other. Benavidez, in the aftermath of Alexander Usyk moving up, was the #1 guy because he gave the undisputed champion his toughest fight at Cruiserweight, did Benavidez. Benavidez was getting well into his 30s by the time he fought Jai Opetaia. Benavidez won a WBO belt. It got stripped or vacated. Then he won the IBF belt. He never held 2 belts at the same time, let alone 3, let alone all 4. So in my mind, Opetaia isn't, I think his lineal status...
Sean Zittel remains skeptical about giving Opetaia the undisputed label without further proof inside the ring. He believes the Australian champion still needs to defeat other leading cruiserweights before earning that status, because rankings and public opinion can only go so far.
Am I crazy?
No, I mean, no, not at all. I mean, I feel like, you know, when I think about fights like Benavidez Morel, Benavidez Plant, when they were boxing, it was hard for Benavidez to get to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, But once they started to slow down and the body was kind of beat down, then he was able to get what he wanted. But yeah, so I think about it like that, man.
Zurdo also highlights Benavidez's relentless pressure and high punch volume as one of the biggest challenges Opetaia would face. David's ability to keep advancing while throwing combinations could force Jai to work constantly, and failing to control that pressure could eventually become costly.
And I mean, he's been doing well in his whole career. He's been fighting long time in this division, but I think he needs to be fighting with different.
Jai Opetaia pushes back against the idea that Benavidez's larger size automatically gives him the advantage. He believes physical dimensions only matter to a certain point, while controlling the pace, dictating exchanges, and forcing the opponent to fight at an uncomfortable rhythm will ultimately decide the matchup.
Because Opetaia, he moved, he takes some chance, and David Benavidez, he's pushing, he's going forward all the time. He never gets tired, and I mean, he has a lot of combination, a lot of volume.
Andre Dirrell identifies Benavidez's footwork as a potential weakness that Opetaia could exploit with disciplined movement. He believes Jai could use angles and positioning to make David chase, forcing him to attack from awkward positions and potentially creating openings for Opetaia to capitalize on.